crossing the Visayas region, leaving a widespread trail of destruction. With roads becoming inaccessible, the need for aircraft in the disaster response became more urgent. Mactan Cebu International Airport, about 100 to 150 miles away from the typhoon-stricken areas and thankfully spared from the typhoon's wrath, became an important hub. Here, local and international aid came in droves, which were then sent to the typhoon-damaged areas in the region.
I've never seen Mactan as busy as this in all the times that I've been flying here. Everyone is flying, all the helicopters are continuing with the news reporting and relief operations.
Private aircraft owners also volunteer their time and resources to help in the search and rescue, as well as sending relief workers and goods.
So Nino, what are the difficulties that you have encountered during this transport?
Ang difficulties lang, sir, sa distribution. Pero yung operation natin dito, sir, sa airports,
Is okay.
okay, sir. Hindi na kasi kami lumalang. Naglalight on skid lang yung helicopter, bukas ang pinto.
Just throw away. Because otherwise they mob you. And it's more dangerous for the tail rotor to hit anybody.
Especially the kids.
I hope you can continue to help everybody.
Okay, sir. Hindi lighting lang that hindi establish ang Tacloban.
All throughout the busy general aviation area, one can see the spirit of volunteerism among pilots.
You just arrived?
Yes, sir, from Lingayen.
And you're here to contribute?
Yes, sir, for
Well, thank you for coming and of course for allowing your aircraft to be used for this. What about you, Bong? You went on vacation?
Yes, sir. I took a leave, sir. Para lang to join Robert, sir.
To help you as well. Wow, thank you, Bong, for volunteering. Everything just has to happen.
Yes, that's true, sir.
Good luck in your flight and safe flying everywhere, huh?
Maintenance of the aircraft is a key issue when they are being used non-stop.
Well, he's been flying for 8 continuous days. He's just trying to do some maintenance work, just doing a compressor wash so that we will all be flying very safely.
Coming back from one of its missions, the Augusta 109 experienced a problem with one of its switches and had to be repaired immediately. Through some well-meaning friends, we were able to secure the parts we needed right away. With several missions dependent on the helicopter, we had to make sure it was up and running in no time. Finally, success! We are now ready for the next flight mission, scheduled the next morning.
So this morning, our mission is to go to Ormoc, bring some doctors, and bring some equipment and other relief goods. I'm very lucky because these guys have volunteered to contribute their talent and their airplanes and their fuel.
Together with flight instructors from Airworks Aviation Academy and other volunteers, we planned the morning's flight. We will be traveling with 5 airplanes, 4 Cessna 172s and a Socata TB21, loaded with relief goods in the Augusta 109. Volunteer doctors who came all the way from Germany under the Israel Aid Group.
So everyone has started their engines, one after the other, making sure that we don't get into any accidents and we don't bother the Ormoc airport.
The first visual of Ormoc was a difficult sight to see. When we come back, we get a closer look at the damage wrought by the typhoon. Up next.
it's this foamy, anything can start. Nescafe Cappuccino, our foamiest premium coffee for those with premium taste. New Nescafe Cappuccino.
Instruments like professionals.
Experience the Thai-ness. Fly non-stop to the true heart of Asia. Thai, smooth as silk.
Di dapat patulog-tulog.
Kasi kung kailan sila tulog, doon naman ako dapat gising.
Kailangan palaging alert.
Lalo't may umaasang makatapos ka.
Kaya coffee ko astig.
Kopi ko astig.
Kopi ko astig.
Made with select grade 1 coffee beans. Masarap, matapang, buong timpla.
Ready na akong harapin ang trabaho.
Pag-aaral ko, matatapos ko ng maaga.
Kaya kami, safe sa trabaho.
Kaya ako ang bahala dito. Ang astig na kape, kopi ko astig.
Line, innovatively lighter and stronger. Samsonite. Profound. Precise. Powerful. The elegant. Use on a silver platter. www.theimmigrant.com.ph.
Ormoc was another busy hub, acting as a point of access for the eastern part of Visayas typhoon first hit. As U.S. military servicemen help us unload our cargo, and with the doctors finding their way to their assignments, we were met by the family of former Congressman Locsin, who gave us a better glimpse of the situation in their town.
I think the report is about 90% roofless. The houses.
I second the motion because it flew over it.
I think about 20 or 30% of the houses were passed away. Completely gone.
And then the agriculture, the crops.
I can imagine.
Yes, most of the crops are actually gone.
Known for its pineapple plantations, Ormoc is a charming port town.
Everybody has been here waiting for relief goods, but they have been very patient. The people from Ormoc have been very proud that everybody's disciplined, just waiting for their turn.
People patiently lined up at gas stations where only 2 liters of gasoline per person was allowed. There were also lines outside a few open stores. The deep wells in the city were still functioning, so residents were able to get water supply from pipelines in the streets.
You lose your home, you lose your livelihood, and some of them have even lost their family. It's really very depressing.
People from other hard-hit areas are flocking to our mock for aid.
As we fly, we see all this need for help sign. One realizes that these are desperate times, and each and every one of us will have to let go of thinking of ourselves, but just thinking of everybody else.
We left our mock wishing we could do more. Other places also awaited aid, and we set out to do another flight. This time, our mission was to go eastward to one of the small towns heavily damaged by the typhoon. With schoolmate and good friend Fritz Segovia, we set out for Javier Leyte. Javier is a coastal town facing the Pacific along the Leyte Gulf. We were flying Israeli doctors sent to survey the damage and find out what the town needs in terms of aid and healthcare. We landed in the middle of the town's elementary school, which was left roofless by the typhoon. The mayor, San Javier, has been a good friend of ours for the longest time. Blessed with fertile land, Javier is largely agricultural. Walking around, it was great to see aid coming from different cities all over the country.
The Israeli doctors are here assessing and trying to figure out how to approach and resolve the issues in the town, thinking of putting a hospital, worried about people under the ruins and under the trees. The whole town is contributing, trying to put their efforts into cleaning up the roads, putting up the poles for the electricals.
This is a tragedy of tremendous proportions, and we're very lucky because we're alive. We asked all the barangays, barangay captains, everybody, to collect all these and put them in one place, and we will create a livelihood program, rapid rehab project, to saw the fallen trees, make them into lumber, to provide the people with nails and maybe roofing, and the people will have to work. We need chainsaws and table saws, and with that, we can build the homes fast. This is one time when we have to be composed and not be depressed, and we have to rise, to get up and show everybody that we can also stand up on our own instead of waiting for mercy. We need all the help that we can get, but let me tell the world that because we are helping ourselves, the help will not be put to waste.
You just showed us this town that's overstored, and we really try to help. And I want to thank the mayor for his time.
Well, thank you very much for showing up here.
With the assessment done, we head back to Mactan. The Philippine Coast Guard was also very busy doing relief efforts, and as a reserve pilot, I was happy to accompany them in one of their missions.
This morning I'm very lucky because I get a chance to fly co-pilot with these guys from the Coast Guard, and I'm happy to be of service again. So what's our mission?
Well, for today, sir, we are planning to go to one of the islands, northern part of Cebu, specifically Pilar, which is part of Camotes Island. And the mission is practically to airdrop relief goods in the area.
So no landing, just drop.
Just drop.
Private individuals like Hani Abala pitched in to collect aid for distribution.
So honey, you came all the way from Gensan
Yes, sir.
just to bring all these goods and support everyone here.
Yes, sir. Because we found out that there's a lot of like small villages, small areas around Visayas that still not have given any relief goods.
Exactly.
So yun po yung goal namin, to reach out and tell them that there's still actually still incoming.
People have not forgotten them.
We want to give them hope at the same time.
That's great, and you'll join us in the flight then.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want to see you in action. We'll let you work very hard today.
It was very encouraging to see so many people wanting to give tirelessly, without any thought of benefiting themselves. We hope someday it will not take a calamity for all of us to demonstrate the selfless side of ourselves.
Well, it was another day of serious flying. We are very happy that we were able to help our friends, our countrymen. In times like this, disasters, calamities, we see the importance of aviation and the need for this government and everybody else to support the whole industry.
More people volunteered to fly aid. Up next.
Performance everyone can recognize. Elegance everyone can appreciate. Simplicity that speaks for itself. Live the Bose experience. Visit Alexis.com for the Bose store nearest you.
It is a week after Super Typhoon Haiyan hit, and everyone continued to extend much-needed help. I caught up with my friends who were planning their next flying missions.
Which place we can land? Good one, nice.
Irene Dornier, a longtime friend, is also helping out with a series of flights. Together with Rami and other friends, we set out again for Ormoc to bring some aid on board the Dornier 328.
We have so many flights, we don't know how to accommodate those.
I know.
Obviously, a day is very short when it comes up to this kind of things.
What does your aircraft carry? It's your name that's in this aircraft.
Basically,
How many kilos?
it's about 4 tons maximum. That would be the limit for this airplane.
Yes.
So sometimes we take it 2.5, 3 tons depending on the mission and depending on how we go, of course.
Yeah.
And this airplane has a great advantage, can go into short runways as well.
We loaded the aircraft with relief goods. With ample seat space, our cargo sat comfortably at the back. Today, we're flying with James Ayer. Ormoc still buzzed with activity when we landed and unloaded our cargo.
After unloading the cargo, we are now bringing sick people back, kids who need medical attention back in Manila. So this is a quick turnaround because we also have the Australian C-130 ready to bring down stuff. Okay, let's go, guys.
offer hope, our destination was a better place. A month after the typhoon, about 4 million people have been displaced. A few days after our first visit, we planned to head back to Javier Leyte to bring some tools needed for the reconstruction effort. Together with the men, we flew the Volvo 105 back to Leyte.
Welcome to Javier.
We brought some contributions to help.
Thank you for the help.
I'm very lucky. Aaron volunteered also to fly me over.
We are indeed very lucky because we have so many friends who are helping us.
And I see everything is getting to be organized. More organized than the first time I came.
We have goods as far as from Pampanga, from Manila, from Cebu. We are very thankful that we have this chainsaw because we are planning to cut these coconuts that are fallen and make it into lumber and uniform housing. On behalf of the mayor and the town of Javier, you are very welcome here.
Thank you.
Rebuilding was the next phase for the people of Javier as they slowly start to rise from the rubble. People recount their experience of the typhoon.
So, Aling Susan, yung mga anak nyo, saan kayo nagtago?
Yan sa magsakal po, binahit namin. Iniwanan namin yung...
Dala ng lahat ng mga bata ron. Everything is damaged, huh?
How it feels that your house is all of a sudden gone, completely gone. I mean,
How to start again here is the biggest issue.
and you will always worry that it might happen again.
Yes.
But it was different for each town affected by the typhoon. Some have received little to almost no aid. So we headed back to base and met up again with Granny and Vince to go for one more flight. Together with the Volvo 105, we took the Robinson R44 and head to the small island of Malapascua, located a few miles from the northernmost tip of Cebu. It was disheartening to see the island from the air. Considered as a diver's paradise, Malapascua's pristine beaches are now littered by debris of what used to be its beach resorts. The island is relatively isolated from the rest of Cebu, so help was hard to come by. We landed on the beach and were immediately swarmed by people waiting for aid. Most people's livelihoods depend on tourism and fishing. But with the island almost flattened and boats destroyed, it would really take a while before life goes back to normal.
Nawalan yung mga bahay namin, nasira yung mga hanap buhay ng mga kapatid ko, but at least walang nasaktan. Andyan pa rin. Siguro ganda pa yung makarecover kami.
When this Yolanda happened, we knew that we had to do something. That's when I called Irene and Nick. From there, the family, friends, and business partners, they help us raise funds, how to operate the 328s, the fuel, how to pay for the operation costs, over and above that, the donations to help out
itself that we have
thousands of families. This wouldn't have been possible without them. But Joy, we only have one ultimate provider, and that's him.
Thankfully, no casualties were reported in Malabazo.
We can't stop everybody from still smiling. This is amazing. This is a Filipino character that I think is very hard to understand.
The distribution of aid has not been the same in many places. But each little effort exerted by everyone is important. Never before has aviation played a major role in a disaster of this scale in our country. The Philippines has always sat in the typhoon belt, prone to about 20 typhoons a year. But the severity of each tropical cyclone has worsened due to climate change. This is an irreversible condition, and we will continue to be battered by more typhoons. In an archipelago such as ours, aviation is the fastest means of transport from one island to another. If we build just 1 kilometer of airstrip on each island, instead of bridges that can cost billions to construct, airplanes can become the bridge for faster transport. And with the government fleet in very limited numbers, the help extended by private aircraft owners proved to be very indispensable. Should we not encourage aircraft ownership for private corporations and individuals by making friendlier taxation policies and less difficult regulatory environment, and instead require them to render community service and encourage a volunteer response fee in times of calamity? Should we not look more into the potential of aviation, not only as first respondents in calamities, but also as an enabler of faster economic growth in many sectors, including agriculture, trade and tourism, where a fast, safe, efficient mode of transportation is imperative. We saw how the nation and the rest of the world moved to bring aid to where it is needed. Where there was destruction, there was rebuilding. Where there were casualties, there are hands ready to help. Where there was lack, there is generosity. And what was unreachable is now within reach. Let us try to become more efficient, more prepared, and learn to put others before ourselves. Only by being selfless will we be able to prevent a loss as big as this.
This has been your Captain, Joy Roa. See you in the next Asia.